Dear friends, most welcome to this short video on the life of St. Vincent de Paul. As seen in the screen, in this video we are going to see the first part of St. Vincent's life, that is from his childhood till he was ordained as a priest. Vincent de Paul was born in the village called Puy, almost 5 kilometers away from the town d'Aix in France. The date of birth is believed to be 24th of April 1581. But according to Louis Abili, the first biographer of St. Vincent, Vincent was born in the year 1576, that is 5 years earlier. Now, how come this difference in the year of St. Vincent's birth? It is due to a research study done by Pierre Coste, who wrote the famous 3 volumes biography on St. Vincent's life. Also, he edited the complete works of St. Vincent, his letters, documents, and correspondence. In the year 1922, he published a documented study with a title that the true date of St. Vincent de Paul birth. According to him, St. Vincent was born in the year 1581. And the reason in Vincent's life, there are 12 occasions in which Vincent mentioned his year of birth, and all the references goes to the year 1581. And because of his reasoning was considered as valid, this year was considered as officially the year of St. Vincent's birth. Vincent's parents were farmers. We cannot say they were very poor because they had farmland. They kept cattle, cows, sheep, and pigs. And Vincent, as a village boy in the village, Vincent had to help his parents in their daily work. Now, we can say that almost 15 years Vincent spent in this village, and his childhood experience in the village had a deep impact in the life of St. Vincent, because there are many occasions when Vincent refers back to his childhood memories while speaking to his priests and sisters regarding the community life. He would say to them, live together like a little like in a family. Or while speaking about the faith, he used to tell them to have the simple faith of the poor farmers. Regarding the providence of, depending on the providence of God, he would tell them, be in God's hand like a farmer who is making a straight furrow. When Vincent was 15 years of age, his parents decided to send Vincent to school. That was not very common at that time. It was not a rare opportunity for children in the village to go to school. Perhaps Vincent's parents saw in Vincent a bright future, a good hope for their family. If Vincent succeeds in his studies, and perhaps if he becomes a priest, that will be a good hope for their family. So Vincent's father takes Vincent to d'Aix in a boarding school run by Franciscan brothers. And as 15-year-old student, amidst so many other friends of rich families, Vincent felt like hiding his poor background in the rural village. We have a couple of occasions when Vincent himself shares some with sorrow, one event, which happened in his life. Vincent says, I remember once being told at the college where I studied that my father was there. I was ashamed to talk and work with him because he was poorly dressed and limping. However, while he was studying in the school, soon it was discovered that he was a very good student and can be trusted. And so we find him in the house of D. Comet, a lawyer in the city of Dax. He receives Vincent in his house and makes him as a tutor for his children. Vincent's stay in the house of D. Comet helped Vincent to ease the financial burden of his studies for his family. Also, it gave him a clear direction for his journey in the priesthood. So we find Vincent receives tonsure and minor orders in the year 1596. In the year 1597, we find Vincent goes to the University of Toulouse. It is said that Vincent's father had to sell a pair of oxen for the expense of Vincent's study. But after 1 year, his father died, and now Vincent had to depend on himself. He had to find resource by himself. So most probably his experience as a teacher in the house of D. Comet motivated him to start a small school in a village near to Toulouse. And perhaps Vincent was a good teacher. Many parents like to send their children to the school. But for Vincent, life as a student in the university and at the same as a teacher was not very easy. And Vincent had to find a solution for that. And the solution was to get ordained as early as possible and get an ecclesiastical benefice. So we find Vincent moves in the ordination. He receives both sub-diaconate and diaconate ordination in the year 1598. And in the year 1600, on 23rd of September, Vincent receives ordination. Now we have to once again refer back the problem of his year of birth. If Vincent was born in the year 1581, as told by Pierre Coste, when Vincent was ordained as a priest, he was just 19 years old. And according to the Trent Council, the canonical age for ordination is 24. So because of this, there are many writers who say that it is because of this Louis Sabelli put the Vincent's date of birth, year of birth, 1576. But many others don't accept this because the decrees of Trent Council was promulgated in France only in the year 1615. That is 15 years after the ordination of St. Vincent. But however, we can find Vincent himself many years after living his priestly life, referring back to the beginning of his priestly ordination. He says, "As for me, if I had known what the priesthood entailed when I was rash enough to enter this state, as I found out about it later on, I would rather have gone on tilling the fields than commit myself to such an exalted calling. So we can find there was a certain rush in his ordination process. And Louis Abele himself mentions Vincent receives the subdiaconate and diaconate ordination, and during the vacation time while he was studying in the university. So friends, we are concluding the first part of Vincent's life here, and we can see Vincent was not a born saint. He had a normal childhood like any one of us. Even when he began his priestly journey, priestly life, he was not very convinced. He didn't know all what it signifies. It took many years through different events and different persons for Vincent to discover the true meaning of his vocation. And that will be the theme for our coming up videos. Thanks. Hope to see you in the next time.